All right, guys, thanks for tuning back in. This is video is kind of an addendum to the last few weeks from the dyno to I had to make a few changes, small changes, a couple small fixes. I've had some people message me on questioning if the motor's stock or not, questioning what I have for a fuel system, questioning my setup. I repeat again, this is not a 1,000 horsepower, 1,500 horsepower garage or 1320 video where these cars are unrealistic to me, to a point where this isn't a race shop. It's just me, just trying to build a 9 or 10 second car, actually 9-second car. So I'll go over some of the things I had to do, some of the changes, some of the issues I had with this setup real quick. I'll go over what I got done to the car, to the motor, because I'm getting asked, about what's being done to this car, why does it make so much power. Again, it's a factory 4-valve motor with intake manifold. Great tune. So I had idle issues. There was idle control circuits. The parts were backwards on this thing. This used to have the filter up top. It's now below. So I had to switch it around backwards. So this filter was up top and the vacuum line was below. So the correct way is filter on the bottom, vacuum line on the top. This idle air control motor is a factory IAC motor. This adapter kit here is from MMR. The block off plate under the throttle body, okay, and the remote kit is from MMR. I had to switch the line around. The vacuum line comes under the manifold, and then the top. The breather goes on the bottom. So that was backwards. That's good. Factory fuel line again. This adapter piece is from Sullivan. It mates the factory fuel line to this. This is obviously a dash. This is a dash 8. 90. There's a fitting here that goes there. This fitting, of course, I believe is this. I took one out so you guys can see it. This is the fitting. You need that. That goes at the end of the rail and mates that. So you need that. Going down the horn here. Again, this is super close clearance. On3 Performance makes a kit that eliminates this whole metal setup and is nice. I think it's a couple $100. It goes right into the bottom of the cylinder head there, but I don't need that because it's got clearance. This fitting here is a one-piece fitting. There's no, as you can see, this here is not in there because when I use this fitting here, it shoved this into the coolant bypass tube. This fitting's like $45 for one. It's a great piece. It's a 90. You can't use a 180. They don't make a 180 one-piece fitting. If you use a 180, not only is it going to hit, this braided line isn't. You don't have enough room to make that bend. This thing's stiff, man. So you can't use that. So get 2 of these one-piece fittings, and you'll be good to go. So coming back around this way, this side for whatever reason has got more room in it. Fuel rail. Use Sullivan's fuel rails. These things sit on a perch on the intake manifold that I don't know if it's going to work with other companies, but just go with Sullivan if you do this Sullivan intake. Intake's amazing, by the way, guys. The fuel leak was right under here. There's a plug there that was leaking fuel. I smelled gas. Put my hand under there and oh, it's wet. So I took the plug out. I used Teflon tape. Tape worked. I had sealant on there before. It didn't work. So again, bone dry, perfect. So I fixed the IAC motor, fixed the leak. This here is from Sullivan. It's a kit that mates the pressure sensor, factory sensor, to the rail. It's a complete kit, O-rings and nuts and everything. Vacuum wise, there's nothing different about the vacuum tree. So this intake manifold, it's got 2 vacuum ports under the manifold. That's it, only 2. So if you want more vacuum sources, run one to a tree, keep going, but there's only 2. All the emission stuff goes away, so your tuner has to be very good. Cable-wise, I'm okay here. I made a mention the last time that it hit. People want to know where it hit. This bracket here, right there. When I was wide open throttle, this cable hung on this bracket. So this thing has been cut and modified. So the bracket comes with the elbow, but you gotta modify it. So it's fine now. So fix the IAC, fix the fuel leak. Vacuum tree, that from Tuner Toys, great little setup there. Been questioned on the motor, questioned on the tune, questioned on my setup. I mean, people are going to question everything. It's a stock 4-valve motor with an intake. The car ran out of fuel. it flatlined. It was losing pressure at 7,000. So the fuel system I have, which is good for roughly 570 rear wheel, which is 700 crank, roughly, give or take. For all you haters out there, it might be 590, I don't know. You know, 700 crank, roughly. They're 60-pound injectors, okay? It's a 340 in-tank pump. And the fuel pump driver module is made by Black 306. You can't see it, but that's where it's at. You can't tell. So the company is Black 306. That's the FPDM. I have a 340 in tank and 60 pounders. Nothing crazy on the tune. The tuner is made by SCT. We all know what that is. If you got a good tuner, it makes a world of difference. This is a stock 4-valve motor that makes 700 crank, roughly, give or take. As far as I've been asked what mass they're using, Jay. By the way, my name is Jay. This is a Big Air 5000. All right, it's an amazing mass airflow sensor right there, all custom. Your tuner will have to customize that. 3.5-inch inlet, the AccuFab 90 throttle body. So that's that. So I was also asked, what do you want for fluids? What do you want for plugs? Blah blah blah. So real quick, there's the oil I run. Use a little water, and there's the plugs right there. Everyone uses these plugs. They're awesome. TR6 is 4177. The gap is 24 thousandths. The coils are factory. I used MSD coils in the car, lost horsepower in the dyno. So this is basically, short of this intake setup, it's a factory motor, putting out about almost 700 crank. So with the right tune, it's only on 93 pump gas. So those are the things kind of in and out. I kind of have this motor. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. Fix a few things, you know, IAC motor, fix the fuel leak, the bracket for the throttle, and again, just some basic questions. Factory motor, you know, great mass airflow sensor, fluids I talked about, no leaks, bone dry. It's, you know, next year I'm doing a 1,000 horsepower motor, so you want to see what I can do to this car, stay tuned. I'm gonna actually, my next step in this car is a turbo 400 transmission. I'm taking the Tremec out. It's got a stock Tremec in it, and the next thing going in this year, as of right now, I'm having a turbo 400 transmission built. So you want to stay tuned on that. I'll do another video on that once I go ahead and get the thing installed. So thank you very much for, you know, hanging out with me again, and we'll talk to you later, man. Later.